Good morning, wild ones. Today I'm in the Sierra Nevada in Spain. It's one of my most favorite places on the entire planet. I absolutely love being here. And in this episode of I Want to Work with Animals, I'm meeting a falconer. So someone who keeps falcons, who breeds them, who races with them, who rehabilitates them, who keeps the airport safe. I'm so excited to show you this person and to interview him with also the questions that you asked through the Instagram stories. So I hope this episode will help you. I hope it will answer some of the questions that you might have, and maybe it will inspire some future falconers. Who knows? I can't wait to get started. So good morning, Oscar.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's my pleasure.
So I have a couple of questions from my audience that they got to ask through Instagram stories, and I've got some questions for you in general. So can you first explain what a falconer does? What is it?
Well, falconry has been going on for a while now, and there has been many uses for it. Right now, the more important one maybe is the use in airports where they protect people, taking the birds out of the airspace so they don't get in the engines.
Mm-hmm.
And from medieval times, they have been used for hunting and for obtaining food.
Mm-hmm.
They have been quite a source of food for in that times. And especially now, there is going on some kind of races and hunting, and it's still part of the heritage of most of Arab countries.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of cultural significance, but they also quite literally save lives. Because on the runway at airports, there's often a lot of birds and they can get stuck in the engine. So actually you did that work in Ibiza, right?
Yes, I was there for a year and it was quite a nice experience.
So what did you have to do?
Basically, we have to keep in touch with the tower of control to know what areas we can work in. And in that areas we just fly the falcons so they can make their territory there.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what they do is push out all the other birds while they are there.
Mm-hmm.
So this makes the area secure for the airplanes to land and to take off.
Yeah, so there's the airplane work, and then there's also the races that you just talked about. And can you tell me a little bit what's the goal of these races?
In the same way as they do with horses, there's races, there's competitions of morphology and colors and everything. And right now the most popular in the Gulf is just a straight line, and they just want the falcon to get the most speed.
So people can bet on the fastest falcon, basically.
Yeah, and there is teams, just like in horse racing. These teams will win prestige if they win races, so it's quite a popular thing there.
And can you explain to me how this works into conservation? Because you breed these birds basically, so that they do not have to be taken from the wild.
Yeah,
Right.
basically from their history, they have always taken the falcons from the wild.
Mm-hmm.
But as we know, this is not good for conservation, and there is a lot of populations of falcons that are having a hard time because of poachers.
Mm-hmm.
And since some time, there's been falconers in Europe that started breeding, and this is making really a change there because now they're starting to work with CITES, and they're starting to ban the trade of wild falcons.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really important for the conservation of some species like the gyrfalcon or the Pierre peregrine falcon, which have some populations that are really thrilling.
So as a falconer, you can basically directly help in the conservation of these birds. And then there's also the part where you take in birds that are found in the area. We're here in the Sierra Nevada, and sometimes injured birds are found. And Oscar here, he's got the most amazing enclosures ever. So basically he can take them in. Can you tell a little bit more about that?
Yeah, well, if I find an injured bird, I always try to give a hand and rehabilitate them.
Because yesterday we actually got one of those birds in. We went to the center down in the valley where they had a bird, and we took it in. And Oscar is taking care of it now, and I have some footage of that as well that I will show you now.
Well, this falcon had a little accident and he was stuck in a net, so you can see his finger. He's got some injuries that we will take care of, and we will put some antibiotics on him, and we will take care of him this week so he eats properly. But I think he will be fine.
And can you tell how you check if you can feed him?
Check if I can feed him. Yeah. In falcons you can see if he has food inside the crop. Just sticking your finger here, you can really see it's empty. If he had food in there, you couldn't do this. So he's ready to eat. There's nothing in there.
And then there's some other questions. As you can see, we have some falcons right here. Why are they wearing these caps?
Okay, these little hoods are a super important tool in falconry because they keep the falcons out of stress. When falcons don't see, they get into a very calm mode. So you can really transport them, and you can really be working with them without them having any stress.
So that is basically the same tool that we use when we catch crocodiles. When you catch a crocodile, you usually want to cover the eyes immediately so that they get quite calm inside, and that they are not so stressed anymore. So this is a tool to keep them more relaxed.
Totally.
And a little bit about this place that we're at right now. I've never seen enclosures this big. You told me that you visited falconers all around the world to get inspiration to build the best cages possible. And with the best cages possible, you mean cages where they can show their natural behavior and where they have plenty of space to fly and to develop. Can you tell me a little bit more about your design? We can't show it, by the way, because, well, why can't we show it?
Well, there's a lot of competition going on, so there's a lot of secrets as well, and it's never good to show everything. So, yeah.
I'm telling you, it's amazing. But tell me a little bit more about the design. Like, how
Well,
did you build it?
Basically, with animals, when you work with animals, especially with wild animals, you have to try to give the best life and the closest you can to the wild the life they have in nature. So these animals, they need a lot of space to fly. They can't live in a small enclosure for all their lives. This is very, very unhealthy for them. For their future health, they need really to fly, and to fly the enclosures have to be minimum 5-6 meters high and 30 meters long.
Yeah.
So it's not a small thing. It's quite difficult, but happily I can provide them with this.
Because this land is amazing, and you also chose it for a specific reason. We're quite high up in the Sierra Nevada, and you chose this land to build your enclosure specifically here. Why?
Well, the most popular falcons in the Gulf for racing are the northern species, where they live in Siberia or Alaska, and these places are very cold and they don't have a lot of humidity. So their immune system is not prepared to fight a lot of the bacteria and the fungus that there is around in places with high levels of humidity. So basically, as I live in Spain, my best option was to look for a high place where the temperatures normally are less in summer, and the humidity is very low. So this means that these falcons are in a similar habitat as they will be in wildlife.
Yeah, and it's great. I think it really worked out for you because your birds are doing so well in the races. They're all winning, so that's amazing. And just for the people who would like to know what it's like to be a falconer, can you tell me briefly, what does your day look like?
Well, when you work with animals, there's always a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of cleaning. They need special attendance sometimes, and basically every day you have to weight them and to keep a list of the weights, because this can tell you a lot in the future about if this bird has a parasite, and then she will lose weight suddenly, and then you can see it. and maybe you can act before it's too late. And basically there is some cleaning going on because
And also clean the food itself. I helped him yesterday with the food cleaning. Like
Well,
it's
yeah.
pretty intense. What do you do?
Yeah, basically they don't eat all the feathers, but if you can, I try to take nearly all the feathers off so they don't make a real mess in the enclosures every day. And as well, I take all the digestive system, which they don't eat, so they will
So you
just
end up with a bucket full of gut.
basically, yes.
Yeah.
And the rest of the day is just checking on them so they don't have any stress and they can live a calm life. Basically, that's
And
it.
there's also cameras everywhere, so he can check on each and every falcon individually 24/7, which is pretty great, I think. And then also you hunt with them sometimes.
Yeah.
So I think that's also one of the questions that you guys ask the most on Instagram is how does this work, the hunting with falcons?
Well, basically falconry started like an alliance between the birds of prey and humans. Before the weapons came, they were the only way to get some of the prey that we love to eat, like pheasants or ducks. To keep a falcon hunting, you need approximately 2 months to get him in shape. And after that, you need to motivate him to want to hunt with you. So there is a few parameters you have to take care of. The falcon can't be really fat because if he's fat, he won't attend. So you have to take care of the weight, so he's eating a healthy diet. You have to take him out every day. And yeah, basically what you do is show him that you are his ally, and with you he has better chances of hunting. So then there will be a bond between you and the falcon, and he will follow you, waiting you to flush the prey.
That's so amazing. And you told me that for you, this is when you feel closest to nature. This is when you feel most alive. Can you tell me a little bit more about how that works? Because it's really your passion.
Well, when you get the chance of seeing something so special like a real hunt in nature, this is really difficult when you're walking around
So
in
rare.
nature. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something that happens sometimes in your lifetime. And falconry gives you the chance of opening that window every day. So you can see what really happens, how the prey reacts to the falcon, how the dog helps the falcon, how the falcon uses his own strategies by instinct and develop them by your side. This really makes a change when I'm flying falcons.
So, I've got all your Instagram questions here and we're gonna try to answer some of them today. So, Arne, you asked how fast can they fly? Because we haven't even talked about this, but they are the fastest animal on Earth, aren't they?
Yes, they are. The top speed they have been recorded was over 300 kilometers per hour, which
That's insane.
it's quite amazing. They are designed for that kind of speed. All their plumage is very tight. They have air in the bones and
Also, some differences between the birds. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, basically in every raptor there is a difference in the size between males and females. Here you can see a male and a female peregrine. The male is always nearly half the size as the female.
And this is a female too.
This is a female, yeah, and you can see there's difference in the plumage as well. This is a brownish color, which is a youngster. The first year they have this color, and then they change it to a more light pattern. And this is used in nature, so the adults are not so aggressive with the youngsters the first year.
So they can see who is young and who is
Exactly,
adult. Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
And they will act differently to an adult than to a youngster.
And what about these insane claws? Because those are some of the most impressive features of the falcon. And you told me about the back claw, which is very important.
Yeah, well, basically peregrine falcons, they only hunt on birds. They are specialists in hunting birds, and they live all around the world, and in each area they have been specialized of hunting in a different way. But the most typical way of them to hunt is gaining altitude. So they get lost in the sky, and when the prey passes down, they just fall down at that speed, and they will
use
hit.
gravity.
Of course they do. They use gravity, and as well they can fly downwards, which is quite cool. And they use the back claw to hit the prey. Basically, it's like their most powerful weapon.
So this series is all about helping people who want to work with animals and helping them explore all the options that there are. So this is your full-time job, right?
Yes.
What advice would you give to someone who is interested in becoming a falconer?
Well, patience and passion are two very important things in life. I think if you have the passion, you will get over all the struggles. It's just a matter of sticking close to another falconer so he can teach you the way of manning a falcon.
So like a mentor, basically.
Yes, you
Yeah.
can't start falconry without a mentor because obviously the most important thing is to keep the falcon safe. And the second thing is to be able to fly him. So it's first, I always tell the beginners that they have to look for a falconer in their area and try to stick with them at least for a year. And they go and hunt with them, see the normal life of falconry, so they know what they will go to. Because some people, they just buy the falcon and then they see the struggle and the falcon is just messed up.
Yeah, so it's basically the same as when you want to learn how to handle venomous snakes. The most important thing is that you find a mentor who can help you. This will not only teach you how to do the actual job, but it will also help to expand your network, which is quite important, because the only reason why Óscar is so successful is because he visited so many different people and took the best of each and every one of them to build the ultimate aviary. So yeah, Óscar, thank you so much for this.
You're welcome.
If there's any more questions to Óscar about falconry, you can post them in the comments below, and I will see you on the next episode. Thank you so